Welcome back to the Chicago Board of Trade on this Friday morning. Let's talk about the changing face of the American public. Now, consumer spending is responsible for 2/3 of the economic output of the United States. Hispanics are now the biggest minority population within the U.S. More than 1 out of every 10 people in the United States, as a matter of fact, was not born in the U.S. You can bet that companies are taking notice if they want to take advantage of these growth opportunities. Doug Lipp has looked at these changes, written a book entitled The Changing Face of Today's Customer. Doug, you start the book by saying companies are chasing customers while ignoring new markets. What makes you say that?
Well, I think, Tom, you find organizations that have been successful in the past chasing a monocultural customer or a monocultural employee. And so they're actually chasing a dying market as far as I'm concerned. If they don't take into account the market that you're mentioning in our 274 million population, the large percentage of foreign-born people, then you're missing out on tremendous opportunities.
But what is it that's stopping companies from recognizing these opportunities? I mean, the numbers are there in the census data.
Exactly. Sometimes it's ignorance, sometimes it's arrogance, sometimes it's if this product works for other people, it should work for everyone. So it's this arrogance of, if it ain't broke, why fix it kind of thing.
So how are companies that do recognize these opportunities, how are they responding to them?
They're making opportunities available to themselves. They're hiring people that represent specific cultural groups. They're called cultural informants or culture coaches. And you can hire somebody, you can even have a person in your employment who knows what these folks want. You ask them, how can we approach them as a sales force to make our product better?
Well, for instance, if you're trying to reach, say, the Vietnamese audience, must you have a Vietnamese on the payroll?
You don't have to have a person on the payroll. You could do focus groups with the people in the community to find out what you're doing, find out what's working. In many cases, what you're doing is working, you just don't know it.
So what companies here, in your estimation, are doing a pretty good job of this thus far?
Well, I think that you've got the multinational corporations that have done a great job over the years, the Procter & Gamble's, the IBM's. But what I'm focusing on in my book, in addition to those large organizations, are the smaller companies, the mom and pops, that don't have $250 million budget to go out and figure out how to approach those customers.
Finally, let me ask you about the economic impact here, because as I mentioned at the top, you know, almost 12% of the American population wasn't actually born in the U.S., but also the Census Bureau has found there's not a lot, at least not yet, not a lot of spending power here, as 1/3 of these foreign-born earn less than $20,000 a year.
I think that the opportunities are also with the children of these people and the visitors that come in. So it's not just the immigrants that live here, it's the visitors that come from overseas that have tremendous spending power. I was working with a ski resort in California that was identifying people from Europe and people from South America who average spend 4 nights to 5 nights in a stay at the resort, whereas a local drive-by population would stay for 1 night. So it's not limited just to the foreign population residing in the United States.
Doug, a lot to think about, and best of luck with the book.
Thanks very much, Tom, for inviting me.
Doug Lipp, the author of the book entitled The Changing Face of Today's Customer.